The Dream Season Football League 2020. Top 20 teams over the last 20 years debuts in Oakland, California as the 17 Jaguars visit the 0-2 Raiders. Oakland's special teams has been stellar this season, and they make a big play again in the postseason. Knocked away on the punt, this is Woodson into the hands of Jennings, and Oakland's Brandon Jennings scores the first touchdown of the playoffs. Then Hearns is in the end zone for the first time this year for Jacksonville, but the Raiders late in the half, guided by Charlie Garner, who slips away from 2. Then there's a third that misses him too, pushes the Raiders inside the 10, and that's Rich Gannon with his second touchdown scamper of the season as they slip through the Jaguar defense to give Oakland the lead at the half. Then Lee begins this third quarter drive, guided by Blake Bortles, who struggled mightily against this Raider defense in Week 6, had a quarterback rating of 3 against the Patriots on the road last week. He guides the Jags into a goal to go, but Henning tosses to Lewis on a 4th and 2. Jacksonville could have cut the lead to 1. Instead, they come up empty. But the Raiders could not cash in as Oakland goes 3 and outs. Gannon, until the fourth quarter, had a paltry performance, but his defense and special teams kept him in the game. Now the defense crumbles here in the fourth quarter, and Jacksonville converts. As for the 6th time this year, the rookie is in the end zone. The league's leading rusher in the DSFL, that is Leonard Fournette. He lifts the Jaguars in front 17-14, but now with just about 4 minutes to go in the game, to add some irony to this situation, the Raiders' offense, the best third down group in the league, is yet again denied by Jacksonville. But then on defense, Woodson knocks away the ball from Fournette, scoops and scores 2 for Oakland. And the Raiders have the lead with under 3 minutes to go in the game. Rod Woodson may just be the greatest defensive player in the league this season. Under 3 minutes to go, the Jaguars, who were 1 for 9 on 4th down, just convert a 2-yard pass to Mercedes Lewis. Blake Bortles had maybe his greatest game of the season. Of course, this Raider defense has struggled just about the entire year. Their lone bright spot was against this very quarterback a few ago in Oakland. 2nd and 10 with a minute to go in the game. Lewis not only converts here, but then is ripped down by the face mask. Jacksonville with all 3 timeouts too. They come out firing. Lewis makes the catch out to the 4 of Oakland's. Then on 2nd and goal, it's Bortles with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season, tacking on to his ridiculous regular season rushing numbers, and the Jaguars appear to have won the game. But Rich Gannon finds the savior against the Colts in Week 8. That is tight end Roland Williams. Then with just 10 seconds to go, Campbell nearly had him with a sack for the win, but Gannon escapes and picks up the Oakland first down. Then Janikowski, who hadn't hit a field goal longer than 44 this year, his line drive from 55 is good. Go figure. And we're tied at 24 going into overtime. Sebastian Janikowski, the greatest kicker in franchise history, extends the game. The Raiders win the coin toss, and Rich Gannon would not be denied. The 0-2 NFL MVP finds Tim Brown for 16 yards. Blair Brown made the stop, and on the final play of the game, Tyrone Wheatley, one of the surprise stories in the NFL, breaks 3 tackles from the Jaguars and outruns Calais Campbell to the end zone. And the Raiders will play the Chiefs next week in the divisional round as they knock off the Jaguars in walk-off fashion. This Jacksonville defense, which came into the game yielding only 14 points per game, they give up 30 in an overtime loss to the Raiders. Meanwhile, the Raiders, one of the hottest teams in the league, have won 7 of their last 8 games. Well, the Raiders may be one of the hottest teams in the NFL, but Indianapolis and San Diego are right there with them. The Colts and the Chargers meet in San Diego. The clubs have won 5 of their last 6 games. Ironically, these 2 teams began the year 1-7, yet are playoff bound. Peyton Manning catches fire to begin the second half after both defenses were incredible in the first 14 minutes of the game as the Colts gained 4 first downs on this go-ahead drive. Brandon Stokely gains 15 here, and he wouldn't be done yet as the veteran from Louisiana reels in the only touchdown pass between these 2 excellent quarterbacks tonight. That is a 6-yard touchdown reception for Brandon Stokely, and the Colts lead late in the third quarter 10-3. These two quarterbacks ranked first and second in the regular season in touchdown throws. Ironically, they would struggle in this game by comparison. LaDainian Tomlinson, who had a whale of a football game on the ground against the struggling Colts defense, he pushes them to the 50. Then Gates, the Pro Bowler from Kent State, gains 18. But then how do you lose 11 yards on a screen pass, a running back screen? I mean, you almost have to try to lose yardage to get 11 yards in the backfield. Gary Brackett makes the play. Yet in the fourth quarter, Joseph Adai would take over the game. The rookie from LSU, after a brutal first half of the year, he helps the Colts drive inside, just inside the 40-yard line, a bit too long for field goal range, so the Colts have to punt. And now San Diego, with just over 4 minutes to go in the game, they are denied on 3rd and 7, and typical San Diego. I repeat, typical San Diego. The Chargers punt it to one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history with 4:16 left to go in the game. Well, what could happen if you give the ball to Peyton Manning with a 4-point lead and about 4 minutes to go? Well, Antonio Cromartie happened. He was the man who missed the tackle against Sean Green of the Jets in 2009. He makes the tackle by way of a face mask. Then Adai moves the chains not once, but twice inside the 25-yard line. Then the rookie would cap it off with yet another touchdown run. That is his third in the last 2 weeks as he rips through the entire San Diego defense and runs the Indianapolis Colts into the divisional round in a rematch of Manning and Brady, which has met so many times over the years. They will yet again be the site of a playoff game. The 06 Colts, who beat the Patriots in the divisional round back in 2006, they meet again, this time for an opportunity to advance to the conference title, as the rookie from Georgia, Tim Jennings, has 2 interceptions in the game of Phillip Rivers. And Indianapolis, after an 0-4 start, they have swept the Chargers and have won 6 of their last 7 games. The Chargers are one and done. So the AFC matchups are set. The Colts will visit the Patriots, and the Raiders are on the road at Arrowhead to tangle the 18 Chiefs. Now out of the NFC, the Carolina Panthers, who needed a game-winning touchdown pass with 30 seconds to go in Philadelphia last week. They were just inches away from being denied from the playoffs. Very few could have imagined the Panthers make the postseason. Very few could have seen the Packers playing in the wild card round. Tiebreakers mean Green Bay is here for the wild card versus having a first-round bye. The Packers would be denied here on 3rd down with Jones getting stopped short. Then from 48, Crosby misses one off of the uprights. And it's no good. Crosby, who has struggled this season, misses his 7th field goal of the year. But these 2 third-down offenses would be in the midst of a horrendous quarter of football. There's one 3rd-down miscue, then another. Newton on 3rd down and 10. He would be denied, checking it down short to Greg Olsen. I mean, the Packers were 8th at 40% on 3rd down this season. They couldn't get anything going. Neither could Carolina as Newton scrambles, and there's Clay Matthews who tracks him down. But then with a minute to go in the first half, Aaron Rodgers, who has been so prolific this season, throws right into the hands of Josh Norman. There was a hold on Green Bay here, and Norman records his 5th interception, 2nd return for a touchdown. The hold is against Green Bay, aforementioned there, on Jason Spitz of the Packers. Penalty declined, and Carolina scores on yet another defensive touchdown. But then Jermichael Finley, the tight end from Texas, rips off this catch and run. Well, maybe the Packers could tie the game here late in the half. They have all 3 of their timeouts. Aaron Rodgers tied for the league lead in passing yards throughout the regular season. He throws another deep ball, intercepted by the safety Kurt Coleman, and it's brought back 79 yards for the 2nd defensive touchdown of the half for Carolina. The Panthers are pouring it on at Lambeau Field. The 2 defenses exchange punts in the 3rd quarter. Start of the 4th, 3rd and 10. Newton is denied yet again. Desmond Bishop, one of the league leaders in tackles, makes the stop. But then this punt is blocked and scooped up by the Packers' Jared Bush. And the DB from Utah State scores the first defensive points for the Packers this year. Green Bay is down by 7. And then late in the game, Jonathan Stewart's and a Panther club ranked 3rd in rushing guides this drive. Cam Newton also scrambles for a first down. 3rd and 20, this check down does not move the chains to Fozzie Whitaker, but does push the Panthers in a makeable field goal range. Kick is good from Gano. It's a 10-point lead with under 4 minutes to go in the game. And Aaron Rodgers, who passed for nearly 300 yards on 3rd down and short, would be denied by Norman. So on 4th and 1, the Packers, 2 for 5 on 4th down this year. They would be denied on a short throw to Jermichael Finley. The Panthers could begin to feel an upset from Lambeau Field against the team which they needed 5 takeaways to beat in week 2 of the regular season. And this is yet another takeaway party for them. On 3rd and 7, this pass is nearly intercepted on the throw from Driver. On 4th and 7, Rodgers converts as he finds his man for a gain of 12, that being James Jones. But on the very next play, with 1:05 to go, Rodgers is picked off by the rookie Shaq Thompson out of Washington. And Carolina, a team that needed a last-second win a week ago to even make the playoffs, they are moving on, having beaten the 3-seeded Green Bay Packers. The Packers are done after this interception from Rodgers, the 3rd in the game. The 2011 version was one and done by the Giants, and the 2010 version is yet again stunned in the postseason. So Carolina's upset bid over Green Bay means that the winner of this game visits the Falcons for the NFC Divisional Playoffs. The Saints at Mercedes-Benz Superdome are jazzed. Drew Brees, one of the league's best passers throughout the regular season, he checks in for the Saints and hopes to eradicate some of the struggles he had when Tampa Bay steamrolled the Saints back in week 3 of the regular season. The Buccaneers won the first of these meetings, 27-13 at Raymond James Stadium, and the offense flourished in that blowout win. Pierre Thomas was stuffed here on a 3rd down, and the quarterback from Florida State, who had 2 touchdowns in that week 3 win against the Saints, he checks into the game for Tampa Bay late in the first quarter, but on 3rd down, he would be denied, as with the 2 offenses in so many 3rd down situations this season, but not this time. As with a 10-yard gut run, the Saints are in the red zone, and Drew Brees throws into the end zone for Marcus Colston. That would be the only touchdown pass of this wild card game, and New Orleans leads 7-0 late in the second quarter. But the Buccaneers, who gained 329 yards and 16 first downs against these Saints and this porous defense back in week 3, they would enter the red zone after that 3rd down conversion, but Dilger is stuffed at the 5, and the Bucs are settled for a field goal. That is one of 2 from Grammatica throughout the 3 quarters of this defensive duel. Dilger then dropped the ball on a 3rd down. Saints with just over 4 minutes to go in the game, led by Brees. He converts with Robert Meacham in a pivotal drive for the New Orleans Saints. 3rd down and 5. Buccaneers can't get off the field again. There is Colston for 20. Then New Orleans, who scored 15.5 points per game throughout the regular season. They didn't do much scoring against the Buccaneer defense, but it didn't matter, as Colston reaches the 7-yard line, 3rd and inches. This is all but for the game, and yet another conversion, this time to Bell. Quarles could not make the stop short. That is 4 first downs in the 4th quarter for the Saints offense, and New Orleans rubs it in with the game already won with this field goal from Garrett Hartley. And the Saints will visit the Falcons for the NFC Divisional Playoffs. The Falcons had their way against this football team earlier in the regular season. But we all know, as we have seen throughout the course of the wild card playoffs, that the regular season meetings has little bearing on where these 2 teams will be at the end of the postseason. These are the 8 teams remaining for the Dream Bowl 5. The Patriots are the leaders out of the AFC, and the Seahawks out of the NFC. These are the prime performances of the wild card round. What a performance on a walk-off by way of the veteran from Michigan, that being Tyrone Wheatley of the Oakland Raiders, who will visit the Chiefs in the AFC divisional round. These are all of the playoff games. In my opinion, the most intriguing game is what is on the top, as the league leader in passing, Indianapolis quarterback Peyton Manning, tangles the juggernaut out of the AFC. The unbeaten 2007 New England Patriots, a team that has steamrolled so many opponents throughout the regular season. Last time we saw them, the Patriots humiliated the Jaguars 34-3. We will see them and all of these games this coming Sunday for the AFC and NFC divisional playoffs. This is the DSFL 2020 with Charger Dude 95.